Hello there, welcome back to Strive's Talking Points, and today I'm going to cover something that, since I really do enjoy YouTube, I like to watch videos, like to learn things, like to use the site for lots of stuff. There is currently a YouTube story going on right now, which is very much a, I don't know how to describe it exactly. It's sort of an attack on YouTube, it's an attack on creators, it's an attack on freedom of speech. It's a lot of different things. It's also a bullying attempt by the mainstream media and members of it to attack a YouTube creator using places funded with hundreds of millions of dollars of corporate money. And what you've got here is the story of Carlos Maza, I don't know, Carlos and Steven Crowder. Now, Carlos Maza is a fairly big member of Vox. He has one of the larger viewed shows that appears on Vox's YouTube channel. I believe Vox has around 6 million viewers or subscribers, and his videos will regularly get 1 million views, which is, generally speaking, about double that of a lot of their other views. You can go check out Vox videos on YouTube if you want. I'm not going to traffic the site nor play anything directly from that, and I'm just going to kind of cover the overall story here. Now, you see here, YouTube says anti-gay slurs don't break its rules. That's from the BBC. YouTube celebrates Pride Month by saying it's okay to call someone a lesbian queer, something he actually has called himself. Right-wing YouTube hurled racist, homophobic taunts at gay reporter. The company did nothing. And Business Insider, you just see that these are very much going after YouTube for not shutting down an independent creator. Now, Vox Media is actually a subsidiary of NBC, and I believe the number is around $250 million of investment has gone into that channel from the NBCs, from, I think before that it was Comcast, and the site is basically worthless overall. You can find that in their stock reports, in earnings reports. It is not doing well. It is not generating money. What I think is one of the reasons is this is basically one of those hit piece, puff piece areas. And Carlos here is one of the people who produces the hit pieces. I've watched a couple of his videos, and they're very much one-sided. He goes after Fox News and all news organizations for covering anything that Fox talks about. That's one of his most recent views. And Crowder here is the one who rebuts him. There's a lot of YouTubers who rebut the things that Carlos says, and now he's upset because he can't get YouTube to do what he wants. Even though he is a corporate-funded media person versus an independent creator who funds his channels by selling mugs, I think, subscriptions to his own site is how he gets his people, or through the limited ad revenue that comes through. And you're just looking at these titles. YouTube decides homophobic harassment. So can't talk right now. Homophobic harassment does not violate its policies. YouTube declines to take action again on right-wing commentator Steven Crowder. He sees himself, and if you've ever seen any of the Crowder shows, as a comedian. He makes jokes. TDW, YouTube is failing LGBTQ community by allowing Steven Crowder's homophobic slurs. Now, in the Carlos Manzana gay wonk, the entire thing he says about himself is he's a gay Mexican, and he uses all these things. Even in some videos, calls himself a Mary. That's the stuff he says himself. I write strike through for Vox.com. Marxist pig. Tucker Carlson is a white supremacist. IG gay wonk. So right here, he has a slur against another person in his Twitter profile. And he is mad that he can slander people, but other people can say mean things to him, and it upsets him. If you're a reporter covering this YouTube nightmare, you need a quote for your piece, please contact me. I'd like to spend the rest of this week giving you colorful quotes about all the ways YouTube exploits directly attacking YouTube. That's what he's doing. Good Lord. YouTube says it didn't punish Crowder because he was focused primarily on debating when he repeatedly calls me a lesbian queer. Now, if he uses one thing talking about you in an hour-long video, and Crowder makes hundreds of videos, it's interesting because he is truly, Crowder himself is debating the issues in a comedy sketch, just the same as we see on most late night. And it's just wild that this is going on. A right-wing YouTuber hurled racist, called him a Mexican. That's not racist. He describes himself as that. Homophobic taunts at a gay reporter. He is not a reporter. He is a spokesman. He is an activist. He refers to himself that way in his own videos. You can go watch the Vox videos. I suggest you watch what's going on yourself, not take everyone's word for it. Except my word, because, you know, I'm really impressed by myself. Kind of seems like YouTube is using freedom of speech to protect a profit model that would otherwise force them to regularly confront racism, sexism, and extremism that has been rejuvenated all throughout the world due to their unchecked algorithm. The YouTube algorithm recommends things to you based on what you're currently watching, and the majority of content on YouTube is from the left. There are small groups on the right or center that talk about things, and Carlos is definitely an activist on the right. Now, he is all out attacking YouTube now. 11 hours, 11 hours, 11 hours, 12 hours ago, 12 hours ago. Now, so I have pretty thick skin when it comes to online harassment. Something has been really bothering me. Now, he does not have a thick skin. That is one of the simple things. White homophobic harassment does violate policies. What you're going to start seeing, and I believe this is true, is you're going to start seeing all of this blow up in the mainstream media's face. Because if regulation comes, if they push this agenda too far, what you're going to end up with is the government, the Supreme Court, has to come in and regulate these businesses. Either they're a platform and allow anything other than that which is illegal, such as direct calls for violence. However, he calls for violence with the throwing of milkshakes. All these different things he's doing. Here's where he says, I'm not a massive media organization. He works for Vox, subsidiary of NBC, subsidiary of Comcast, and a bunch of others where they've got hundreds of millions of dollars. I compiled your exact quotes, which repeatedly violated YouTube's terms of service. Now, would him, Carlos Maza, referring to people as alt-right Nazis, homophobes, slurring them, is that a violation of YouTube's stuff? Because in the last day, this is what he's been on. It is just crazy. And it is all just negative, 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 negative. About YouTube, he's going after them. And this is all in the last few days. A lot of people have pointed out he's wearing socialism is for figs. There's actually a picture of a fig leaf. It's a joke. I don't know if humor has completely left the far left, but that's what you're seeing. Anyway, we're going to skip out of this, and we're going to go over one. No thank you. YouTube is refusing to punish Starr with millions of fans after he hurled homophobic slurs at a journalist. This is an activist. This is a comedian. Activist, comedian. Activist, comedian. I want to make that very clear. Carlos Maza is an activist who is pushing for censorship. He's pushing to have shows taken off the air. He's pushing to remove any type of conservative media. He's advocated throwing of milkshakes at people. He's advocated for political violence. This is what he's doing. Vox journalist Carlos Maza tweeted last week about the harassment he receives from YouTube star Crowder, who has 3.8 million subscribers. Carlos Maza has over 6 million subscribers on the Vox channel. Maza said in that multiple videos debunking his show, Strike Through, Crowder frequently makes repeated reference to Maza's sexuality and ethnicity. Maza always makes references to his sexuality and ethnicity, and he always plays the victim because all these people are attacking him. Maza said he often wakes up to a wall of homophobic, racist abuse on social media. Social media is a bad thing. If you can't handle it, get out of it. However, he makes his living off of social media. Anyone who's played online games or been a member, even me here, I have a tiny channel. I get some pretty good hate out of people on a regular basis. And, I'll only get 20 views on a video. But hey, whatever. YouTube celebrates Pride Month by saying it's cool if you want to call someone a lesbian queer. In a joke, it is okay. We have a thing in the U.S. called the freedom of speech, including gay Mexican, which is what Maza has called himself, a lesbian queer, called himself Anchor Baby. That's one of his pieces, token Vox gay atheist. Also, he's called himself that as well. Crowder has sent a video of all these things calling himself that. Vox host Carlos Maza leading to harassment and abuse against Maza from Crowder's fans and followers. He is getting harassment from people because he is actively attacking anyone on the other side as evil. This is not something that's normal. You should not be able to say people are white supremacists without any evidence. You just really shouldn't. That's, no, you should. You should be able to say what you want about people, but if people respond to you in kind, you should be able to accept it. Now, on Twitter, Maza posted a thread responding to YouTube's decision, calling on LGBTQ YouTubers and YouTube employees to remind them the company isn't our friend. Because you yourself can't handle people debunking what you're saying. You want to attack the platform as a whole. He's also called for advertiser boycott. Again, he's attacking YouTube across the board for this. And you're starting to see more and more YouTube personalities push back. Mr. Crowder has denied encouraging his viewers to harass Maza and said that his comments were playful ribbing. Now, openly on his platform, Crowder asked for people not to bother these people, not to engage, not to attack, not to harm. Maza is regularly calling for, he may have deleted them by now. Oh my goodness, look at all these tweets. How does he do any work? Gotta back up here. Keep backing up. Sorry guys, this takes a while. There are so many things here. It's just a crush, a little crush, not like I faint every time we touch. This is how it was. He rebuts what he says, and he does it very easily. And again, here's a white supremacist thing. Vox walking out. Here's a little something Twitter does not seem to understand. There's a vast financial incentive for extremists to become more extreme on these platforms by the very nature of interaction-based algorithm growth. There's no incentive for humanity. So, extremists on the right are banned. Extremists on the left are promoted. Carlos Maza, at Gay Wonk, is an extremist to the left. He is promoted. He is getting more and more attention. And he is trying to bring down companies uh, and openly attacking people. Yeah, I believe he's deleted his stuff about throwing, attacking capitalism, the only thing. Here's him going after any type of news that he doesn't agree with. Video attempted Shirley Temple, me bleeding from my eyes and ears. And he's just talking about Fox News. He's extremely one-sided, very aggressive. And then he gets upset when people can go through his ideas, take them apart piece by piece without any effort at all. Making fun of Nigel Farage. Making fun of anyone he doesn't agree with, attacking them. This is his retweet of his. This is a piece of why the far right gets so mad when we throw milkshakes about them. Is very good and stirs up some feelings I've been having lately about politics and physical strength. This is an example of him supporting retweeting political violence. This is not what you want going on from a reporter. He's actively calling for censorship. He's actively calling for violence. He's actively trying to deplatform other people when, unfortunately, when the government moves in, they're going to open up these platforms to either make them a publisher or a platform, and if they become a publisher, they will be liable for the things that are said. So when you're called a white supremacist by someone like Carlos Maza, you will have the right to go after YouTube, to go after Vox, to go after these places. And I don't think YouTube's going to allow that to fly. Twitter's not going to allow that to fly. As you see this populist conservative movement growing throughout the world, I think you're going to see the freedom of speech, especially in the U.S., where the Constitution and the rulings are already that you cannot infringe upon free speech. You can only open it up and allow it. That if these places, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, get hit with regulation, it will be to allow more speech. All the people that have been blocked or banned because of freedom of speech, unless they did something illegal, not against terms of service, but actual illegal, you'll see those people pop back up. And that's what's kind of got me, is a massive pundit, a political activist on Vox, has now opened up attacking YouTube. YouTube doesn't respond the way it wants. As a subsidiary of other companies where he'll probably get paid regardless, even though these mainstream places are sinking their money into these burning ships. I mean, they are falling apart big time. That they keep attacking everyone else. They're lashing out in their death throes as they try and hold on to some type of audience. And the fact that this is every single story I've seen here. Oh, there's one. I bet that's a more right-wing or centered thing. Why Carlos Maza is wrong about Steven Crowder. YouTube, homophobic harassment. They're framing this right. If you say exactly what someone else says, it's not violation. If you make jokes on it, it's not a violation. Rebutting a fellow YouTuber is a big part of YouTube. If you cannot talk about ideas, what's the point of YouTube? Anyway, those are my thoughts. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Like, dislike. Honestly, I've gotten several dislikes on my videos just because people disagree. I've gotten some pretty hateful comments. It's fine. I am doing this to get myself involved, to find out what other people think. If you really and truly believe that we should start censoring rebuttal videos, that if you refer to yourself as a gay, lesbian, queer, who's also an anchor baby in the country so that your family could stay, If someone says that back to you, is that evil? There is no taking it back language that I'm aware of that falls in there. However, watching all these major companies go after someone, when I honestly believe YouTube should produce its own content saying, we do not bow to a few thousand people on Twitter, you do not rule us. And that should be what they do. Let's see here. 44,000 likes, 11,000 retweets, 4,000 comments. So let's say all 44,000 people are what matter. Now, 44,000 isn't a lot of people in the US. That's not even that's a fraction of a percentage. And yeah, look, this absolutely batshit policy that gives bigots free license. This is the problem we see in our country. That someone believes they are so above confrontation that anyone who speaks out against them is evil, bigoted, homophobic, racist. And that is just the epitome of what's wrong in the US right now. Thank you all. Have a great day. Sorry this video went way too long. Goodbye.